We are now joined by Seni Adio, a senior advocate of Nigeria and, of course, the chairman of the association's section on business law, talking about the Nigerian Bar Association. He will be discussing with us how to amend some of Nigeria's laws and how that could improve the country's business environment. Seni, glad to have you join us on the show today.
Thank you for having me.
So we saw the business section of the NBA ring the closing gong at the close of trading for the day and for the week today on the floor of the Nigerian Stock Exchange. Talk us through the objective behind this.
Well, the section had come in today. Myself and some of my colleagues on the Council of the Nigerian Bar Association Section on Business Law, we came to pay courtesy call on the NSC, and in particular the CEO and other members of the executive management. Historically, the Section of Business Law has worked quite collaboratively with the NSC. So we thought it was quite appropriate for us to come today to come and pay a visit. Also, it was an opportunity to discuss annual business law conference coming up in June, specifically on June 26th to 28th, 2019 in Lagos. That would be the 13th annual International Business Law Conference of the NBA SBL. And the SBL over the past 24 months has been working collaboratively with the stock exchange and various other stakeholders, including the executive, the presidency, and in particular the office of the vice president, the Presidential Enabling Business Environment Council, PEBEC, also with the NESG, Nigeria Economic Summit Group, and very importantly, the National Assembly with respect to law reform.
So, Seni, in line with the factors that you have highlighted, I hear that the focus for you guys is improving laws governing Nigeria's business environment. You've spoken to us on collaborations that you're trying to work with. You highlighted PEBEC, and that, of course, is in line with working with the federal government. Speak to me on the response that you have been getting based on the efforts that you're making to facilitate legalities binding business environments in Nigeria.
The response has been tremendous. Certainly in terms of the government being predisposed to working with us, and certainly from the private sector, has been tremendous, which has led to the passing of the bill currently before the President for assent, the Companies and Allied Matters Repeal and Reenactment Bill 2019. Amongst other things, the bill, when passed into law, will act as a catalyst towards further easing doing business in Nigeria and making our economy more competitive, in particular with respect to making the business environment more friendly towards micro, small, medium enterprises.
So you're looking specifically also,
if I may, I would actually encourage the members of the public to take advantage of these reforms. Because it's one thing, the reforms being implemented, but the market also needs to take advantage of these reforms.
So you're looking specifically also at improving growth, investment, and employment in Nigeria. Can you speak to us on some of the strategies that you will be employing and you'll be the policies you'll be wrapping around the execution of these goals?
Yes, that is the theme actually for our conference coming up in June. And at that conference, we intend to have a triage to examine the Nigerian economy, and in particular, again, in aligning with the thrust of the current government's movement towards taking the country away from a single product-based economy, particularly crude. The idea is to foster diversity in the economy in terms of promoting agriculture, for example, technology, mining of solid minerals, financial technology, and things of that nature. is what the conference will be focusing on towards diversing the economy and also fostering economic growth and development.
Seni, I'm also aware that the Nigerian Bar Association Section on Business Law will be working with the Nigerian Economic Summit Group. Speak to us on some of the agenda on your table as far as this collaboration is concerned.
Yes. We've been working with the Nigerian Economic Summit Group, NESG, for approximately 4 to 5 years now, as in working very, very collaboratively. And for the first time ever, I think about 3-4 years ago, our partnership coalesced into establishing a body called NASBA, which is the National Assembly Business Environment Roundtable, which comprises of the National Assembly, the NESG, and the NBA-SBL. So some of the legislations that I've talked about and the bills I've talked about, CAM Bill, Investments and Securities Act, and there are other numerous bills that are currently before the National Assembly with respect to infrastructure, roads, aviation, and other aspects of the economy that we've been working on. Again, part of this effort also led to the establishment of the collateral registry and the passing of the Secure Transaction in Movable Assets Act, which essentially has provided an opportunity for small businesses to be able to leverage on their inventory as collateral to access credit.
Seni, talking about
so that was
bills,
kind of what I was referring to when I said...
Sorry to interrupt you, Seni, but talking about bills brings to mind the KAMA bill, which is currently still awaiting President Buhari's assent. That's the Company Allied Matters Bill. Speak to me on how you are pushing for negotiation to ensure that this bill is passed into law. It's been on the president's table, say, for a little over 4 weeks now.
Yes. The thing is that I know that the presidency, and rightly so, has been very deliberate in terms of looking carefully at bills presented to His Excellency for signing. And I know there's a coalescing in the private sector in support, essentially unanimity support for the bill. But the executive, as a responsible executive, is taking a look at it before assenting to it. I know that more recently SBL provided formal response in support of the bill. I know the NESG has done likewise. A lot of the trade associations have done likewise. The NSC has done the same thing. I understand that there may have been 1 or 2 pockets of stakeholders, if you will, that had raised 1 or 2 issues which I believe have been resolved. And so we're very hopeful that in short order the bill will be signed into law.
Seni, many thanks.
It's the right thing to do, and it makes eminent sense to do so.
Seni Adio is a senior advocate of Nigeria and chairman of the Nigerian Bar Association Section on Business Law.